For those who have been present in the last session this morning, you can ask questions. Not for the newcomer in this session, not now. It was so clear that you have no question.
I really like what you said about that if your mind have this idea, I can do it, then I will do it. Not, you don't have even a hesitation, should I do it? Like there's something that you see it needs to be done, then you own it and you just make it. But I guess, I'm thinking if you recognize something should be done, then how to do it in a best way. Like you put some consideration into it before you start.
Yes. To realize an action, first you have in mind this action, because all action starts in the mind. You cannot go along jumping from one thing to another without thinking about this, otherwise it is like I said, it is a white electron. In the Brownian movement, there is no thinking. A human being is I would say, we call consciousness, but it is a collective consciousness inside of us, because all the organs and then the brain, etc., all together, we form a kind of consciousness globally. There is a theory saying that each cell has its own consciousness. I would be in favor, but of course, this tiny consciousness, it cannot act alone. It has to collectively gather to have the consciousness of the liver, the lungs, the heart, etc., and all together, this consciousness of the physical body. And all this feeling of consciousness is felt through the centers in the brain. We are not going now to analyze it in a very medical way, but the leading, I would say, the leader of the orchestra is here. So we have this consciousness of to be me, and starting with to be the body, because we are the feeling that we are not another one here. But then moving on the road towards more interest in spirituality, this consciousness will be focused in more further than the body. We start to ask questions about us, about the cosmos. At a certain time, says, what is it? I'm here, a little thing, and then in the cosmos. And then Theosophy teaches us that we are one part, integrating part in this vastness. This is why it is both very wonderful that we are part of this, but it creates also the difficulty, as I said this morning, as we are part of it, we cannot separate ourselves to imagine, and all we think about the existence as manifestation, you cannot think as a part. So all we think about is false, because of this separation between me and the thing I consider, because it is untrue right from the beginning. I am not separate from this thing. So I consider not the thing, but the concept about the thing. Okay? So me, I can feel that it is limited by the body, but thinking about the manifestation with the whole universe as a visible thing, I cannot be apart from that. And if I think about it, I cannot think about the universe. I think about the concept of the universe because I'm inside it. Now, I give you this tip this morning. For those who have studied seriously, this is the gift because it is a realization. If you want to touch this manifestation, in the core of it, it is one only thing, is that you go from you to the center of this thing, which is the same. This is the pilgrimage from myself to the self, the capital S. All this is called spiritual path. And you have to walk it alone, yourself. This is this sentence this morning. Now your question is that then you have the in the mind the idea of the action. And your question is how I'm going to do it. But this is a question of method. You can take whatever as a strategy, as method. Generally speaking, the method can vary, but it should obey one rule. The rule is to be logical in your action. You cannot do at one step that and then on the next step do the contrary. It has to follow logics, a path of logic. I mean, you have this, you have the aim of that, and how to proceed to that. The whole way should be logical. Point 2 should react to point 1 with logics. You cannot move by changing the logics all the time because you cannot realize the action. You see? But inside this action, when you realize it, there is the inner attitude. Inner attitude is really the main thing, where you can have this awareness that you are doing the thing. I am doing the thing. Or it is just awareness that the thing is going on the process of being done. You are not the first element. The element first in it is the process of the thing. And the second is your awareness of the process of the thing, but not of yourself doing the thing. And in that way, you are saved from the slavery of time. It does not mean that in your method of realizing it, you should not plan for the element of time, because it is just a matter of logistic and very trivial organization. This is the matter of conventional time. You say, I have 4 hours to do something, leave, and I have to do this, you have to organize. But this is not, it does not the matter to be bound to time in the sense that we talk about eternal and time, because this eternal and time is just the two elements are dependent upon your attitude and not the conventional time. The conventional time we cannot deny because we have to respect the whole organization. You cannot say I'm independent and arrive at whatever program starts at 9, you arrive at 10, and it is not organization. Or organization is good, but you don't respect the organization. Now this is quite a different matter, right? Now, but when we talk about time and to be out of the domain of the slavery of time, when you are doing an action, realizing an action without yourself, without the feeling of being yourself doing it, then you are out of time. And this is to live in the eternal. And for me, it is very simple and at the same time very complex, because people are inventing so many things in the mind, the eternal, the time, and what, and this and that. But then it is linked with the ego, with this sense of the I, you see, and me, I, mine. It is at a certain time in the element of language, sometimes it is very funny. You say, I'm going to brush my teeth. In French, you don't say my teeth. You say, I am to brush myself with a teeth. I mean, something, je me brosse les dents. Je me brosse les dents. But in English, I brush my teeth. But I wrote a small text at that time, 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, making thing of it. So that you cannot brush the teeth of any other one. When you brush the teeth, you brush your own teeth. Otherwise, whose teeth you are going to brush? You take out the teeth and you say, just my teeth, and you take out the teeth and you brush. It is ridiculous. You just imagine. But these elements of language sometimes lead you to some inner attitude. If you say, I brush my teeth, it is mine. It is mine. And then coming to, I am to drive my car. I am going to be in my house, in my room. Everything is me, and mine. And we are unaware of it. And then, so be careful about that using it, because think about my teeth. It is one element of pedagogy to strike the mind that you will get to it in memory and say, oh, my teeth. Now, of course, I cannot brush the teeth of the others, anyone. Okay? So there are the action in the mind, starting to decide to do it. This is the element of buddhi manas, telling to you this is the right thing to do. Then the method, it is also buddhi manas, to say how you are going to do it in an efficient, fruitful way, in your way. And then when you start to do the thing, you don't think that you are doing it. You see, there is that three elements: decision, the method, and the proceed of doing it. So the last part is very important, because as long as you keep this sentiment, this feeling that you are doing it, you are reinforcing the ego, meaning that you are more bound to time. Now, if you can do it wholeheartedly without this feeling of I am doing it, you are out of time, because for this gap of duration, you are out of time. You do it, the work done, finished. You got it? Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
I just wanted to understand your take on our jobs as part of dharma.
Sorry.
So I wanted to know your take on our jobs being part of our dharma, because those are, that is the means by which we are able to learn and be here. So just wanted to know your take on it. Corporate job. That's what I meant.
Yeah. My opinion about?
I wanted to know your opinion on corporate jobs as a part of our dharma. Because
the job is part of our dharma. Yeah. What is your job?
I'm working as an economics researcher.
Sorry? I am?
Economics researcher.
Research. In what field?
Economics. Macroeconomics.
Economy. You are economist. Researcher economist. It depends upon what aim you are targeting. If it is a good job, if you think how to improve the situation of poor people, how to set up a system like the Nobel Prize, Stiglitz Nobel Prize of 2001, he has a system to distribute more fairly the richness of the world. And he was accused to be a communist. I mean that it is the end of the story. If you judge this one is a communist, this one a capitalist. Now, can you imagine that they are mixing together and everyone is capitalist? There is no longer any communist in the true sense of the term. I came to know two of them. Really, the communists. We had good friendship. One in Ukraine and one in Italy. The Ukraine, meaning that in Dnipropetrovsk, precisely, he died now. His daughter is a teacher of university, as he was. And before dying, he said to his daughter, "You write to Kim-Dieu to announce my passing, because we are so linked," you see. And she wrote to me a letter obeying to instruction of her father, and I tell you the anecdote. He's a teacher in university in Dnipropetrovsk now, called Dnipro, and her daughter also. So we discussed, he invited for lunchtime at his house, and then discussing things, I said, "You see, I cannot be now neither a communist, because I read Karl Marx, I read Engels, okay, so okay. And I respect the people who opt for this. I am not a capitalist, for sure. But then, by experience, in my family, in Asia, we have big families, because you have uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, you have hundreds of them. But directly, one of my uncle was in the army, not very high rank. He was killed in fighting against the nationalists, communists, whatever. And another uncle went to fight in the other camp, and they shoot against each other. Another uncle, very high rank in the army, as a kind of general. He was caught when the communists broke in Saigon, kept in jail, kind of re-education camp. 7 years, he survived. And he said, "Don't worry, I will survive. I will not die here," to show that we have the will, intelligence to survive. 2 years after, when he came out of the educational camp, he died peacefully. He kept to his promise to the family. Now, the thing is that the two uncles, one in the one camp, another one, they shoot at each other. So I told this friend in Dnipropetrovsk, I said, "Never I will take a stand politically, because I have learned the lesson. No longer you will see me to be a communist or capitalist. I have opted for theosophy." This man was always in the position of being against being a member of the TS. The day after he came to me, he said, "Kim-Dieu, I've got your thinking, I want to be a member of the TS." And both of them came to be a member of the TS. I don't know whether now the daughter is still living there. Now then, just to say it to you, you can be an economist, you can be an engineer, you can be whatever, a teacher, but if your aim is to help humanity, you are fulfilling your dharma. But if you are trying to get more money and to exploit the other ones with another system, economically speaking, you are not doing your dharma. You are creating more negative karma for you. I'm right? I'm clear? I mean, so depending upon the motive, and I fully respect this man and his daughter, they don't say and they don't react at once. The day after, he came and said, "Thinking over, we are not going to take side. We're going, so now we are going to be a member." I found it very beautiful. And another communist in Italy, he passed away also. He's a professor of literature in high school. I have been received in his home many times, and at that time I was a very young member of Theosophy and starting to serve inside the TS. He is the only one at that time to ask me whether all is all right, economically speaking, in my life. I was alone. My parents were still in Vietnam, in Saigon. Communist was not there yet. So I said, it is okay. He was on the verge of giving me money. I said, no, thank you very much. It's okay. But it's friendly, you see. And you can see that the name, the label matter little. I came to know two individuals, two souls. Communist or not, I don't care. But if you have been stopped by this, you will miss two souls. Real one, true, authentic, generous, true theosophist at the same time. So be careful about the etiquette, meaning the labels you give, the names you give, and you define something. I would not know you as economist. Okay? You say it, it's good. So accomplish your dharma by trying to do something at your scale, at your level. Don't try to say, I'm going to be a theoretician, to invent another system. Do it, but when it is against your understanding of theosophy, of wisdom, don't do it. Dare to say no. In this way, we accomplish our dharma. Okay? Please, sir, please, can you sit down correctly and not half lying on the bed?
Yeah.
Hmm? Okay, go ahead.
How are ego and time connected?
Sorry?
How is ego and time connected?
They are the same with two different names. Huh? You say correct? Thank you very much to verify. Yes.
So every dharma, every duty is bounded by karma. So how do we break the cycle of karma to reach moksha? I mean, ultimately that is the goal.
How can we break the circle of karma?
So, like how many lives do we have to serve to humanity to break free of this karma to reach moksha?
Yeah, okay.
Like how many lives?
Yeah. Stop to be selfish. And to do it, you have to be aware when you are selfish. Meaning to learn to be aware. In the decision, you check before action. And when you realize action in the process, you fill up with your ego to do it, etc., etc. So my answer is very short. If you want to stop your karma, then stop to be egoistic, to be selfish. It's very funny as a language, selfish. There's a fish next to the self. It is fun, for fun. Okay. It is okay.
The karma phala is both good and bad. Like,
Sorry?
the karma phala, what you get out of karma.
Yes, you get out of karma, you cannot say, let me make a jump. You need energy. As every electron, she will correct me, she is a physicist here, PhD in physicist, I am a little thing of science. So I say to you, in order to jump out and further the nucleus of this, and any electron needs energy. Do you invest your energy to be unselfish, or you invest your energy to get more and more and more and to think about me? So don't dream about accomplishing your Dharma if you keep the way of doing so far to be selfish, egocentric, etc. My answer is stop to be selfish. If you want to break out of the circle of karma, start now small. Big things start small. So start small. Don't repeat the habits of things, and it will break. Your character will change and your destiny will change. So you need energy as the electron wanting to go further from the nucleus. This center called egoistic center, the religion of humanity. Egoism is the religion of humanity. And afterwards, sports. And afterwards, corporation. And they're very proud on this. The funny, ridiculous things that they are not aware, but they are very proud from corporation and having a career. But they are crooked behind, because all of them are crooked. It is so funny to see that they don't see. Okay? So I stop there, otherwise we will go to economy, to geopolitics, and it is not allowed. You don't ask any question? Yes, you? You have any question? You are always cooking something, but it doesn't come out as a dish.
I am not.
Yeah.
I do not agree that I am cooking. Whilst I am finding language here with you to the experiences that I have had in a couple of years. So I am very happy to be here with you and
Me too.
everyone.
I'm very happy to be with you.
Yeah, everyone here that I know we don't not label and do those things, but for me to have language, to be able to articulate the experiences that I have had in the recent past is, I think there's a process of digestion. Yeah, because I will put this. So experience is there. I just started on my own, and I'm happy there is language, and there's a source like you, and I would like to go further. So I don't know what to do next with this, but I am very keen to move further. I will talk to you.
We will meet again.
Yes, we will.
Sure.
Thank you for asking.
Don't keep it. Anything else? Yeah, who is moving? Gymnastics.
In one, you mentioned we need to move from I am to I. How do we
Ramana
different-
Maharshi said it, not me.
How do we
Bhagavan
differentiate between
Ramana.
I and I am? difference between I and I am.
When you say I am, the next step will follow immediately, because your mind is incapable of staying at the state I am. This is our lot. When I start to say I am, immediately I say I am intelligent, I am idiot, I am learned, I have a PhD, I have just doctorate, doctorate is bigger than PhD, yeah? Because doctorate is tougher. Well, it is just a dialogue in private between she and me. No. So when you say I am, it is an intermediary state in our mind. Because the mind in this state of existence of ours, we are not very capable of keeping I am. The next step comes immediately. I am a learned man, I am an ignorant, I am a student, etc., etc. Because the I am calls for a definition, a qualification, etc. Now the state of I am, when you look inside yourself and still you identify yourself with whatever you look at, meaning souvenirs, memories, happiness in the past, anticipation for the future, you identify yourself with that. I call this the process of self-identification. I am that, I am that, I am the souvenir. But before, the whole process is a movement of consciousness moving from your center, which is I, to go to the other one. Consciousness, which we might define as I, is the staying constantly in this center, not moving out. Meaning that you are aware of everything, but you don't say to yourself, I am. You don't have this step of self-awareness, self-consciousness manifesting itself into the statement of I am. The self at that time is centered in your own core, the point, the dot of and this dot, if you go further, deeper, this dot also is the origin of the universe. So you stay in I, meaning that you are identified with the creator of the universe. I don't like this term creator, but for the time being, the starting point of everything. And you take a hold on it, don't move out, just to be centered in this, and this is I. I don't know whether I'm clear enough for that. But I think I tried to explain. You don't say anything. No. So, again.
No, first I wanted to ask, is it okay to ask a general question that's not related to today's topic? Is that okay?
Well, I will examine it. If it is too far, I will refuse to answer. Ask the question.
Okay.
Every one of us has the freedom. You asking me, answering.
Yeah. No, in general, I will not accept.
Yes,
But the thing is, we've
for the take.
No, in general, just wanted to ask your opinion on how young people can come more to the theosophical teaching, because a lot of us are meddling with so many things in their lives, figuring out career and personal life. So, would you have any suggestions how to go towards these teachings in a swifter way, so that, and broadly that's my question. How do young people navigate their lives to go towards theosophical teachings?
I think everyone has a story to tell, the story of our life. But you cannot give general like that. Well, the young Theosophist is doing a good job trying to get them. I mean that some of you are not members yet. You come to the first time to see something, and sometimes I took the risk to move above your head because you have not studied, you have not known anything about the theosophical teaching. But I think that if you are sensitive to a certain point, you can get there, and then you do the job from there to there later on. If this is well done here, and if you understood something, you get something there, this trip will be called for at a certain time, but you cannot abstain from doing it. So, if you feel like that the theosophical teachings appeal to you, go a little bit further. Don't make publicity without understanding something. Otherwise, it is like you are selling a product without knowing it. It is what happens in the commercial level. They are selling poisonous food, and then they make publicity about it. So know about it and understand something. And if you understand really a small thing there, you cannot help to talk about this. Say, something helped me to understand life more. And life is certainly bigger than your career. Meaning that people are, the mind of the young now, generally speaking, is very limited. Think about the career, get there, get richer, and to be considered in this human society. All this legitimate, but all the legitimate things are not right things. Are just legitimate because at a certain moment of your life, you are allowed to think about it and you are invited to think about it. But the people who invite you to think about and to do things, it's like they have understood so far at their level, meaning with their selfishness. I mentioned corporation. It is one example. You give your life to a corporation. Well, thinking about your pension. 1 year or two before your pension, you came to learn that you are crooked because the funds have been run by some organization which have stolen all of your savings. It happens in the United States very often. Why not here? I mean, humans are everywhere the same. Selfish, greedy, ignorant. So it might happen here. Think about it. When you start life, don't think about pension. It is the worst thing. If you do the right thing, the Lords of the Karma will take care of you. You have to have this faith. Out of this faith, if you don't have it, you will wander around having a better position, etc. But if you have this faith, you can continue your job as a Dharma, as I told you a while ago. Do something to help the others and not only oneself. And when you start to see that it is rottening, bang the door. Dare to do it. because daring is one of the elements of spiritual growth. But with intelligence, not just banging the door and then do it intelligently, but dare to do it. Yeah? And have I answered to your question? Well, first study, understand something, get to the teaching. If you get something there, you cannot but share. Because at a certain point, it is like you eat the excellent food alone. You can't. You invite people to come and eat the good food with you. What I'm doing here with you. Sharing the good food for the soul. Because it is natural, you can't help doing it. So do your part, and naturally it will come, and people will ask you, what's about this, you have changed, and that. Say to them without proselytism, without publicity, without saying, yeah, I changed certainly. If you met me at 20, you will not recognize me now. You see? Dare to change. As you change clothes. Okay? Oh, Leo.
Kim-Dieu.
Can you sit correctly? The friend there? Yeah, because I have the feeling that you are suffering of something when you sit like that. And I don't like people, look at people suffering. Okay? So, Leo, go ahead.
I'm going to ask a question. I'm taking a risk to ask this question.
Life is risky, so go ahead.
Theosophical Society. We know that we're talking about working for corporations, working for workers' union, because they protect our own interests. I may be wrong, but I feel or I see, for better I observe, even within Theosophical Society, not everyone is innocent and not everyone is pure in their motivation. Everyone still have a little bit of level of selfishness in there, otherwise we consent already. But for us as young people, or as me as an individual, when you do the work within a group for a cause, a bigger cause for humanity, people will not be the guideline for you. There must be a set of principles to something, or objective to something that we can follow to make sure that the work that we do, we make sure the motivation is not selfish. So do you have any suggestion, like, for us, if we do the work within the TS or in anywhere that we do?
Are you suggesting to me to suggest to you some method to transform people from egoism to altruistic attitude?
At least to transform myself.
Yes. So I mean that concerning ourselves, it is much easier to try to transform the others. One thing is very experimental to me. When very young, I have listened to Krishnamurti at Sanan. I think it was in 1977 or 78. We were under a vast tent of 2,000 people. It was hot, deadly hot. And then they are in the valley. It is very hot, and then water was running on the tent just to refresh a little bit. And then he talked, and then people ask questions. Very small number, because it is too vast that he cannot answer to all the questions. And people ask him the question, how to do to transform humanity? And he gave the answer that theosophical teachings gave us. Why do you want to transform the others? You can't. You see, this, it is funny because in a couple, the wife and the husband, or husband and wife, anyhow, two partners, one of them want to transform the other. Why that he does not change? It is much better. Our couple is much happier. And the other one say the same thing. Never it can be. Now, if I say that you want to transform, the only point what you can act upon is yourself. Okay? This is your question, how to. Now, the consequences of this is absolutely wonderful. Now, the answer is Krishnamurti going next to it. He said, you see, there is a relationship between A and B. It goes on like that, A, B, A, B, B, A, and then it turns out to be really habits. They can quarrel, they can be praising each other, but it is just habits going on. I said, if A changes, the relationship changes. Because there's two to make a relationship. Okay? And if the relationship changes, B is compelled to change. Wonderful, is it? Of course, it will take time. This is a matter of time. But we are living in a conventional world. We have to count upon it. But we can just change ourselves. Change the way of looking at things. See the way we handle things. And in the group, of course, you are more than one relationship. You are A, B, C, D, E, F. And then if you change, it might happen that B, C will not see that you're changed. They will maintain. Mm-hmm. But at least by chance, by luck, one of them will see the thing. And if F change, there is a kind of changing also in the collectivity. We are two now to change. Meaning that relationship between F and C, F and B change. You understand? I experience it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't. Why it doesn't? Doesn't because, let me say A, I am A. So B, C, D. B change and got good. C, no, I am installed in my own beliefs, will not change. D changed a little bit. And so, relationship of A, B change. A, D change. C does not change. Result at a certain time, C will be rejected. Because the relation, you have 1, 2, 3, the 3 changes, the relation changes. So the relationship between C and the others, if they block here by C, C will be rejected. This is why the society have rejected many elements, defined as good elements, but incapable of changing the mind. So just try it. And I have experienced the AB, AC, AD, and the AC now is out of the society. Oh, try it and have the faith in this. You do the thing rightly, not for yourself, but for the sake of the work and the cause, it works. Of course, if you win 2 out of 3, it is a good win, is it? It's okay? It fits your thinking.
I think working in a community, and when we work in the TSOs, we have a lot of volunteers, and
She also
there are things going on.
I think really what matters is that that the main principles that we have defined and really made it clear for ourselves what are the principles that guide us in our lives. And in that way, we don't have in life any enemies. Even if other people see things completely differently, we are always talking about the principles. So we don't talk, even if we have other people seeing things differently and does not at all agree with us and tries to cause even troubles or whatever, we can still say things, and it helps us in the sense that we do not function from the emotional, personal aspect either, because we are trying to see that this is the principle, and we might agree that we might not do things well as well, and we might be wrong in long term as well. But at that moment, the best of our capacity at this moment, when we work from that standpoint, then we don't have problems with people. Really, personally, from our side, we don't get problems with people. There are problems that other people might see, that they have problems with us, but it is not a weight on us, or it is not a burden on us. And then we have the courage, and we dare to say no to our friends, because we are talking from the principle aspect. And we can also agree with people with whom we do not usually agree, because when the principle is there, then we don't, something is completely gotten rid of, and it helps us in our work with, because otherwise, in the TS, it is for sure, we will always have problems. We will always have problems, and we will always have obstacles.
We are humans.
We are humans. We make so many mistakes, but the question really is, how do we relate with everything that is going on? That is the point that decides whether we will have the courage and the energy to go further, or whether we someday will just say, this is so difficult, I'm leaving. Deal with your own matters, I'm leaving. So I think that is a bit what you asked about, how can we function in a community? Because in a community we need to learn it. And this is also how do we understand karma? Why can we accept how other people see things, even if we do not see it in the same way, understanding that what is there for the time being comes from certain past, comes from certain habits of the mind, comes from certain conditioning. And then if we can see that and accept it, then we can also accept that at this moment things cannot be better. And if we accept really fundamentally that at this moment things cannot be better, and we still try to do our best, then that is completely sufficient. And then we are at peace as well. So this is just also my 20 years of experiencing as a volunteer in the TS. But really, we must understand that.
You can discuss together.
Yes, but it is for the others
after
as well.
Yeah.
It is for the others as well. Because we are a community and we are volunteers and we try to do our best. And then obstacles
So the first thing to say that don't take for granted that you are the best element. You are one element. And you are apt to change the first. Don't think that you are the best. Probably you are the best, factually. But if you say it out, you are in the wrong position. Mike, so many minutes that you have waited, yes.
Yes, and this is actually a very simple, I'm hoping it's a simple question. Seeing that there's a great range of mixed, like we're a very mixed group of people from different places and life and all that. But if there is one advice that you could give to us that's common to all of us, what would that be?
At what time should we terminate, finish?
Yeah, whenever it is. Like, we can already stop, but we can go on some more.
We should stop at noon.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Then
To
we have
answer
20
to
minutes.
your question. So I need two hands. I cannot take this and then do things. Can you help me?
Yes.
Come a little bit. Yeah, so that everyone can see it. I asked Mary Kay to bring, because I cannot do it flying, it is forbidden. It is a sparkler. Yeah? When the children used to celebrate your birthdays, and then it will.
Diwali.
Huh?
Diwali here.
Oh, Diwali, yeah. Diwali here, or birthday, or whatever, festivity. And I don't want to use it because I have not used it this kind. I don't want to set fire here. So, this original idea to show you one phenomenon which we should all keep in mind. It is linked with your question. What advice? Okay? Now I show you one thing I have shown already in America. but they said not more than 2 matches because they have the fire in California. So, and the manager of Wheaton said, yes, but 2 only. Okay.
Maybe we should put those off, because if you would like...
No, it is not so much. It is not so much.
Okay.
And this is at the convention 2 years ago. So I said, you watch me, if there is a danger, I stop at once. For many generations, and particularly the second generation of Theosophists, we have been taught that each one of us is a spark of the divine, a spark. You burn a fire, and from the wood, there are sparks are coming out. I said that it is a little bit unsatisfactory and unsatisfying. Me said that a spark, it will not last. Spark, and then 2 seconds after, a spark disappeared. It is, we can see it in physics. A spark cannot last for long. Okay, so I said what to do. And I came to read a text of Shiram in which he mentioned the term effulgence. Effulgence. The spelling is E-F-F-U-L-J-E-N-C-E. Effulgence. Please skip the word. It is not very common.
We can later wrote it on the board.
Yes. Effulgence is this phenomenon. When you burn something, and this is more visible with a match, when I strike this, before it turned out to be a flame, it did like that. And you can see spark coming out of this. This is called effulgence. And I say it because this will be the last word. To answer to you, what advice? I said, my advice is, look at this. You are not a spark of the divine. You are the effulgence of the divine, meaning that you have to burn all the time in your lifetime to keep it burning. You are not only one spark. You are this phenomenon which will last up to the moment you leave the flame. Look at it. I repeat because I have more than 2.
Yes.
Look at it. Yes, this is one. I repeat until you see the thing. No, not yet. Look at it. This point there. Before it just turned out to be a flame, you have this phenomenon. This is called effulgence. We must be the effulgence of the divine, meaning burning, giving out a spark. But not only a spark of God. Please God, because it will not last. Burn it, keep it burning. And this burning is the energy provided by the divine in you. And if you don't use it, it will fade away. And now it is a rotten spark. This is my advice. Keep it burning in effulgence for everyone. See? Enough, or I can use more. Have you watched it, seen it? If you want to reproduce the experience, watch around whether not the risk to set fire on. Okay. So then, good. I try to do the maximum of what I can. If it is just one or two things that you should keep going home. The first thing is the first day. We say that space will be in the program. Time does not exist. It is an illusion. It is a making of the mind. And we are searchers of truth. But truth has to be, I would say, we should have the merit to get understanding, to go step by step to truth. But then, since we said time is not, and we are advised to live in the eternal, I have shared with you this living experience that you can reach the eternal in your inner attitude, not waiting for time to solve the problem of eternal. Now, what is eternity? Since Plato asked about what is time, his answer was, time is the movement of eternity. So eternity is always there. And if the mind invents this term, eternity, it is affecting. If you have not experienced this, living in the eternal. So time is not, live in the eternal, experience it. And you cannot deny it if you have lived it once. This is my last word. Thank you very much. And be happy without conditions. Be happy without asking conditions. See you again somewhere. Tomorrow, she said.